They move it to Miller. JT Miller with a slap pass. Rebound off the outside and they score. It's Professor.
DK Metcalf, he's got it. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Launches one. Deep left field and gone.
Curry slammed on the brakes. Oh my goodness. Curry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Live for Sports. Maybe the busiest episode that we have had to do, because holy fuck, Joseph, we had so much going on this week.
We did. Juan Soto, a New York.
I told you last week it was going to happen.
I predicted it too.
Oh, okay.
We all predicted it.
Yeah, hell of a week, both MLB, NHL wise, even like Four Nations. We were making a thing that we were going to talk about it a lot this week. We're going to have to like skim over it, I think, which is going to suck because there's so much to talk about in the NHL as well. Plus then, so yeah, we got Soto, we got other signings we got to get to in the MLB. We got some winter meetings are started. There's some rumors flying around. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a signing like mid pod because
actually, Nathan, I don't know if you saw the news, but apparently Jimmy Garcia is going back to the Blue Jays.
Oh, that's wow, great. Yeah, I can't.
I'd like Jimmy Garcia back.
I don't know. I just anytime I see him, I feel like he gets torched.
Well, Ryan Burr's the closer right now, so
Devin Williams, you are a Toronto Blue Jay.
Oh God, Tommy Nance setup, man.
Yeah, we got that. Then in the NHL, we have Jacob Trouba traded. We have Igor Shesterkin signing. We have the Avs goalies swaps they've done, and we have Luke Richardson fired in Chicago. All to get to. That's gonna be fun. NFL will touch on week, what was it, 14 that just happened? Yep, week 14. Time to bench Kirk Cousins? Question mark, potentially. I don't know. We'll get into it. And we said what we were gonna talk about the Rockets, but I think we need to talk about Jimmy Butler a bit because apparently he's on the market for trade. So we'll get into that when we get there. But first off, the biggest news of all, Juan Soto is not a Toronto Blue Jay, shocker, as we all definitely knew wasn't going to happen. He is a New York Met signing 15 years, $765 million. Yankees offered 16 by 760, 47.5 per year, I believe, but he chose the 51 million per year from the Mets to go across New York. Joseph,
Queens
thoughts?
Well, Nathan, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to get a shit ton of money, a shit ton of term, and it would be with the Mets initially, or in the end. Unlike last year with Shohei Ohtani, where I allowed myself to believe in the last couple days because of the stupid airplane saga and John Morosi and all those dumbasses saying he was coming, and they got played. And they got their best offer. They gave it back to Los Angeles, and they just so they could run up the score. I never once believed for a second Juan Soto was coming to the Blue Jays. Don't know if you saw my tweets yesterday, Nathan, but I did say that I don't blame Ross Atkins for not getting Juan Soto because it's not realistic. But good Lord, I cannot listen to him speak anymore. That's beside the point, though. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But yeah, this doesn't surprise me. I knew he'd go to whoever offered him the most money. I know the Yankees did a little more in terms of total dollars, but on an AAV level, their offer was a bit lower. I think Soto can opt out. I want to say it's like 2030. I'm pretty sure.
2030, I think.
Yeah, so he has an opt-out if he wants it. I doubt he's going to take it. Remember, he's still very young. He's like 27, 28. So 15 years, take him to 42. It's a good deal for him. Good deal for the Mets. Their championship window is now... They got like an 8-year window here with him and Lindor and gang. So good for Steve Cohen. Good for Mets fans. They had to deal with a lot of bullshit under their old ownership, and now they have a owner who throws his money around. And now they're the big boys. The Yankees aren't the big boys anymore.
I feel people always complain about, these stars, and I'm one of them, like the stars leaving the small market, signing these big deals with the Dodgers, the Yankees and stuff. But man, I think Steve Cohen is great for baseball.
Yep.
Comes in, I think he's had the team, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Comes in and has spent a lucrative fuck ton of money. And they are set now.
Filthy rich, Nathan.
Yeah.
He's filthy rich. I think he's worth $20 billion. so he can afford it. This isn't like he's taking out a second mortgage here. He can afford this money. And the Mets are a moneymaker. They do well in attendance. They do well in sponsorship, merchandise revenue. So do the Yankees, so do the Dodgers, so do all the big teams. But they can afford it. You know that every MLB owner could have afforded this contract basically with like 3 exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I'm happy owners are spending their money. I'm happy there's no deferral bullshit as far as I can tell. So, Yankee fans are going to hate him, and baseball's always better when the Yankees and the Mets are good at the same time. So we can have that proper Subway Series rivalry. I was hoping for a Subway Series World Series this past year.
Yeah, I
but
think
we didn't get
everyone
it.
kind of was.
So we'll see. Is this going to cripple the Yankees? Because we know we know Stanton ain't getting any younger. We know Aaron Judge was awful in the playoffs. Gleyber Torres probably ain't coming back. They lost Clay Holmes also to the Mets, who's going to be a starter for some reason. So, we'll see. We'll see how the Yankees can recover because they hate Brian Cashman, their GM, the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone hates him, which, I mean, they won like 5 rings back in his early years, but they haven't won since 2009. And that, in Yankee terms, that's a century. So they're on the clock a little bit here because fans are getting impatient. They don't like the GM. They don't like the owner. They hate Aaron Boone, who's coming back. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to that aspect of the MLB season.
I agree. In terms of, I got 2 potential under the radar winners for this Juan Soto deal.
Okay.
The first one is Kyle Tucker.
Okay, he's a free agent
next year.
Yeah.
He was injured this past year. His stats were still sick though.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he's probably got to be looking at his agent and be like, can I get like 400 million? Can I get 500 million? Like it's possible. I could see it.
I mean, Harper only got 330.
But if Soto's signing that big of a contract as a position player, whereas Ohtani, it's expected you're getting both pitching and hitting, and assuming he comes back healthy next year. But with Soto, he's a position player getting that much money. Tucker's a couple years older. He's 20, he'll be 29 when he hits free agency. So it's going to be less terms involved. But I think MLB players just overall the contracts are rising. I think that's just going to happen now. And Soto's going to be a huge part of it. His stats, similar position, really similar to Soto. I wouldn't say it's better than Soto. I think Soto's still obviously the better player. But you got to be
really good.
Yes, you got to be looking at him as the next outfielder that's going to get paid like a shit ton.
The thing is, because with Houston, we know Bregman's gone. So can they? I think he is.
I think likely, but I wouldn't rule it out yet.
Okay, but if let's say they lose Bregman, then it's really just kind of Yordan and Tucker if he sticks around. So that's a lot of pressure on them to get him signed.
Mm-hmm. I believe they have Framber on the trade market right now, and that, as well as Kyle Tucker. But they said anyone's really available for trade, but they're still trying to be competitive. So maybe if they don't get Bregman, they kind of retool it a bit, their system. I don't know.
Maybe. Does this next person, your underrated sleeper, rhyme with Vladimir Norero Munier?
Maybe. Yeah, it does. Because and I hate to say this, he is not signing an extension this offseason. He is going to test the market next year because why would he not after seeing what Soto just got? I know he's at a less premium position than Soto. Like I would take an outfielder over a first baseman any day and they get paid more. But you got to be he's looking at, I'm going to be a 26-year-old generational hitting talent hitting the free agent
agent
market.
Generational.
Coming in, he was generational. He was deemed a generational hitting prospect. That's what he was deemed.
He's had one generational season.
Yeah, okay.
I would call what's kind of funny about Vlad? You know what's kind of funny about Vlad? Last year, elite season, he had 30 home runs. Jose Bautista in his washed-up year had 23.
Yeah, okay.
So his power is not generational.
Sure. Just generational hitting talent, though.
Yeah, well,
I'm still calling him that.
I'm not.
He's had good enough years where I think you can call him that. And if he has one more, then yes, he is. So he's got to be looking at it being like, holy shit, he's getting that much. I'm going to be that young. Why can't I get a huge payday on the open market? He's not going to get that much. I don't even think I think the most he'd get is like 400, 450.
Yeah.
And I think
they're-
that's even a
I'll
stretch
tell
as a
you.
first
I'll
baseman.
tell you right now. I'll be shocked if he gets above 400 for a first baseman who
Yeah.
not even that good as a fielder. Now maybe he sees himself as a third baseman in the future. I don't know, but I mean he's hardly played there, so I don't.
He's
This is a failure by the Blue Jays. They've had years to get this done, years, and they haven't. They walked Bo right to free agency. That's just Bo's personality. He was always going to go to free agency, whatever. And I'm down on Bichette. I have been for a few years, so whatever. I don't really care if he. Well, I'm not saying I don't really care. I mean, they should trade him if they know he's going to leave. But Vlad, he signed here almost 10 years ago. He grew up in the system. He's had a couple really good years. Been a part of a lot of successes and a lot of failures, and they haven't signed him. And he's expressed willingness to sign. We don't know what happens behind the scenes, yada yada yada. But man, they just haven't. They haven't done a good enough job communicating to the fans what their intentions are.
No.
I never expected them to get Soto. I don't blame them for not getting Soto. But last year, their backup plan after not getting Ohtani was washed up Justin Turner and an average to slightly above average Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. IKF was so much better than I thought he would be, and he had like a 710 OPS. So please give me Santander or something.
See, this is what I'm worried about because the reports, I think I texted you this. The reports I was seeing is the Jays were solely focused on Soto. They weren't talking to other free agents again.
Well, that's malpractice. If
It's
that's
like, what are
I
we
think,
doing?
I think that's a little out of context. I think a lot of teams were solely on Soto. They're like, we said last time, I think, everyone's waiting for Soto. Once Soto's done, people will really start negotiating. So, Soto's done. You need a better backup plan this time.
Mhm.
This is the most important couple months of Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro's tenure as head of baseball operations. If they fail again, they are going to be worse than last year because their pitching is worse. Their hitters are older. I am not expecting a bounce back from Bo Bichette. I saw what happened to Josh Donaldson with all of his calf injuries. I saw it up close and personal. He was never the same in Toronto. We love Vlad. He's not 2021 Vlad, and it's unfair to expect him to be. George Springer is only getting worse. Dalton Varsho is injured. He's going to probably miss the first month, if I'm not mistaken.
What's he got?
And he's got his shoulder, right? His
I didn't
rotator
realize
cuff.
I didn't realize it was hurt.
Yeah, well, he'll miss probably the first couple weeks. And even then, are you counting on him for offense? Not really, right? They don't have a left fielder, unless you play Barger there, which I wouldn't do. They don't have a third baseman, unless you play Barger there, which I would
Or
maybe
like
do.
Horwitz or something, yeah.
God, please don't play Horwitz at third. I'd literally kill myself. I'd trade Horwitz, personally. I mean, he's got no power.
Mhm.
I mean, he's just another contact guy. Let's trade him for some power. I need Santander. I need it. He's terrible defensively. He's going to get overpaid. He's slow as fuck, but at least he can hit. I need someone. I need you to give me something, Ross.
So
Something to work with this season.
I've heard they're in on Burns heavily for pitching. I've heard they're in on Fried heavily. Like it's them, the Dodgers, or the Yankees, or the Red Sox for Fried. Sounds like Fried's going to sign by like Thursday at the latest. I've heard they're in on Santander. I've heard 1 year too late, they're back in on Teoscar Hernandez again. What are we doing,
hate
Ross?
that. I wouldn't hate it.
Neither
you
would
might
I,
as
but do it
well.
last year. Do it last year.
How about this? How about this, Nathan? Don't trade him at all.
Okay, that too.
Do you remember that day? You and I, we didn't know each other super well yet. November of 2022. And I said, "Yo, Nathan, I know you like baseball. Look at who the Blue Jays just traded." And you're like, "Huh?" Because you were half asleep, like you were most times at first semester. And they traded Hernandez and for Eric Swanson, who I'd never heard of. And he was good his first year. He was terrible last year, but and Adam Mako, who I keep hearing about how hyped Adam Mako is. Like we're 2 years on, and he hasn't played a game yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he's not going to be a superstar. So I don't know. I'd like Hernandez. He is what he is. I mean, you get your 30 home runs, your awful defense, and your speed.
If they're willing,
a lot of strikeouts.
so apparently they were willing to go up to $760 million for Juan Soto. If you're willing to go up to that much for him,
okay. Quickly, let me interrupt. There's conflicting reports about this.
Okay.
John Heyman, aka Scott Boras, said they would go to 760. Shai Davidi and Ben Nicholson-Smith said they stopped at 690. So, who do you trust? Scott Boras, who wants to get the most money possible, or Shai and Ben, who are mouthpieces for the organization.
That actually is tough. I don't know. I don't know. I think it got up to over 700.
Fucking better of. Otherwise, what are you wasting your time on? Like I heard they didn't even have Vlad as part of their presentation.
Yeah, that was more like Vlad, do it on your own if you want. We don't kind of.
So clearly they didn't believe. Clearly.
Okay.
Like last year they believed. This year they didn't.
I will say, what was I getting? Sorry. If you're willing to spend that much on Soto, pay up for two other guys. Like you don't have to spend that much money, but like it's not out of the question. You can go sign Bregman, and you could go sign Santander if you want, or
I
a
want
pitcher.
Bregman.
What?
I don't want Bregman.
I don't think I want Bregman either. But like, don't be cheap. Don't be cheap. Go sign somebody. Go sign two guys. You have the money for it clearly. Like why?
No, I think they had the money for Soto. I think that was their exception in their payroll. I think they were willing to go that high for Soto.
And Ohtani too.
And Ohtani, but
okay.
The cat's out of that bag. But I mean, they don't have a left fielder. They don't have a third baseman. You can play Barger in one of those positions, and he's never going to hit above 230 probably.
Mm-hmm.
He strikes out so much.
And you kind of need a pitcher as well.
And please don't make. As much as I love Ernie Clement, I think he's a great bench player. He does a lot of good things. Please don't make him be full time again this year.
Mm-hmm. They need a starter too. Because
can't play more than 110 games.
I would love if they get Fried. Fried would be my number one.
I'd like Fried too.
Because we need a lefty more than we need Burns as a righty. Burns is obviously better.
I don't care about righty lefty. Just get a good pitcher.
Yeah. Plus bullpen. Plus we still need like 5 bullpen arms.
Well, Romano's gone. I thought he was coming back.
Nah.
Now Romano, I've never actually been a huge Romano guy. I don't know if I told you.
Yeah,
this.
you were saying this.
He hangs a lot of sliders.
Yeah.
And people are like, "What the fuck?" Because they're expecting a fastball, and then it's a hanging slider, and they get handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all remember that famous moment, Springer and Bichette running into each other in center field because Bo Bichette thinks he's a center fielder. What pitch was it?
Probably a hanging slider.
Yeah, I think it was Julio Rodriguez. I can't 100%. It was either him or Crawford.
I think it was Crawford.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Crawford as well. And it's a hanging slider, and he pops it up because he's not expecting it. And any major league center fielder gets to that. Maybe they slide. Pilar probably dives because he gets a shitty jump, but they make the catch. Fucking Bichette.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a Bo Bichette hater.
Yeah, I'm a Bichette liker, so it's funny.
I mean, I don't even think he's that good. Like, what does he do well? When he's on his game, besides hitting for average with his singles to right field, what does he do well? His power's too inconsistent.
Powers
can't defend.
I don't.
Not fast.
His power's fine as a shortstop, in my opinion.
He's barely a shortstop.
Okay, well, yeah, that too. But no, he hits the ball well. Like, and he hits doubles. He gets extra base hits. Like,
yeah, but it's like a 310 average. Is that so impressive when your on base is 335?
Yeah, that's gotta
like
fix.
I remember getting into an argument beginning of the season with Bo Bichette cards.
I remember
on Twitter, and I was right. I bodied him. I don't get into many Twitter arguments because I hang out with girls, but yes I do, Nathan. Yes I do. But I bodied that fool. Like he was like, "Oh, he's so good," and I'm like, I said, just wait till his bat speed goes, and then he won't be able to get away with his hacking anymore.
All right, I figure we go rapid fire the last week, kind of the signings that happened, and we can just quickly go over each of the major ones. I got the list up. We'll start back on December 3rd. Aroldis Chapman to the Red Sox, 1 year, 10.75.
That's just a replacement for Kenley. I mean, they're not even good, so I don't know what he'll probably be traded at the deadline.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like they could be good if they get a pitcher, which it sounds like they might, like, and get a position player. Then I don't know.
Quickly on the Red Sox, let's all point and laugh at all those idiot Boston reporters who thought Soto would go.
Oh, they got Jays of last year. They got Jays of last year.
Okay, no. We had tangible evidence that Ohtani was going here. Boris, they fucked us intentionally. Ohtani and Boris. That was intentional.
Boris wasn't Ohtani's agent. He's not.
Who is it?
I don't know who it is, but
is it a Japanese guy?
I think so. I'm almost positive it's not Scott Boris.
Okay, well the point is there was tangible evidence that he was coming, and they leaked it intentionally to fuck us over. There was no leak here. They were just being delusional.
Belello is Otani's agent.
Oh, that doesn't sound Japanese.
December 5th. I texted you about this one. Luis Severino to the Athletics, 3 years, $67 million.
Fuck?
They finally spent money right as they get out of Oakland. This is
What
just
a big F you to the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord.
Biggest contract in Athletics history.
What, 67 million?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. That's less than Hyunjin Ryu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's less than Vernon Wells.
Guardians on the next day. Shane Bieber, 1 year, $14 million. He's coming off Tommy John. He'll be probably back in like May or June, I think they were saying.
Okay.
Clay Holmes, 3 years, $38 million to the Mets.
So he's going to be a starter. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. Well, they also remember Jordan Hicks was kind of the same contract last year. Jordan Hicks?
He wasn't good.
Wasn't he all right?
You can't go more than 4 innings.
Okay.
So what's the point?
Danny Jansen to the Rays, 1 year, $8.5 million.
Fuck off, Danny. You had to go there. You know what's going to happen, Nathan? He's going to hit 280 with the 120 OPS, and he's going to make him, Bob, Jim Maloob, the pitcher we've never heard of, look like a Cy Young candidate while playing in the Yankees farm system. Or the Yankees.
Maybe he gets like heat exhaustion though playing outside. And I guess no, their schedule is way different now.
Yeah,
you saw that they changed it.
Well, you see, Sacramento's going to get heat exhaustion. It's hotter there than it is in Florida. They're all going to die. I mean, God, why do you have to go? Why do you have to go there, Jansen? Yeah. He's going to be so good, and then he's going to get hit by a pitch and break his forearm and be out for the playoffs. He always does.
Schneider was on some press conference at the winter meetings or whatever, and apparently he got asked about Danny signing there, and he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to hit him with a few pitches."
Wow, John, you're so funny. Like I think John Schneider thinks he's a comedian or something. like, dude, you're from New Jersey. You can't pull off the Southern hick like Gibby could.
I don't know if that was actually like a direct quote or if that was just some parody account or something.
Maybe.
I didn't see the actual interview, but I'm pretty sure it was real.
I can't wait for when we get 80 wins. We go 80 and 82 and everyone is gone. I can't deal with Schneider anymore. It's not all his fault, but I can't deal with his stupidity and his fucking sunburnt face.
Next day,
sunscreen.
Giants signed Willy Adames. Big one. 7 years, $182 million. I love this for the Giants.
I don't.
Really?
I love Adames. Okay. He's going to die in that ballpark.
I disagree a little bit, though.
He's going to die in that ballpark.
Chapman was good last year.
Chapman had 26 home runs.
That was better than what he was the previous year in Toronto.
Well, he sucked in Toronto. That was the difference.
And he also was hitting for average and hit.
I think he fell off end of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, but he was good for the majority.
He used to hit 30. He used to hit 30 to 35. Chapman, and his defense. I don't know if his defense is quite as good as it used to be, but Adames, I love Adames. One of my favorite players to watch. So sucks that he goes to San Francisco. I would have loved him in Toronto.
Yeah, I also think he played in Milwaukee last year. Not a very hitter friendly ballpark. Sorry,
it's better than San Fran.
It is, but I believe also. I think if he played all of his games at home last year, he would have had one less home run. So he hit fine. And I'm curious to see what it would have been like at Oracle, but I think it still would have been fine.
Yeah. Fun fact. Did you know in San Francisco it's not acceptable to call it San Fran? They don't like that.
Really?
They don't like that.
You sick, by the way?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. Orioles signed Tyler O'Neill, 3 years, $49.5 million.
I mean, he's going to die in that ballpark.
They moved the wall in. They moved the wall in.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
How far?
10,
what it used to be?
10 or 12 feet, I think.
Oh, well, I mean, that's nothing crazy.
I'm not sure. They did move the wall in, though.
Okay, that's an Austin Hayes replacement. I like Tyler O'Neill. Stays in the AL East. Canadian. From Victoria.
They also signed Gary Sanchez, 1 year, $8.5 million, same day.
What year is it? Is this 2016?
Maybe.
God Lord, I'm in 10th grade again.
Yeah, and then obviously you had Soto, and then the next day, and then you had Michael Conforto to the Dodgers, 1 year, $17 million.
How many Blue Jays and Conforto rumors have I heard in my lifetime? At least 7 trillion.
A lot. And then Blake Trinan re-ups with them, 2 years, $22 million.
Fuck off, Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers. I mean, I'm
Um,
happy they won. Anyone but the Yankees or whatever team Rougned Odor finds himself on. But God, I fucking hate the Dodgers.
Jordan Romano, we talked about it. 1 year, $8.5 million with the Phillies.
If he's bad, Philly fans are going to kill him.
Oh, probably.
They're going to find him and kill him. So he can't get away with the same stuff he did as a token Canadian.
Alex Cobb, 1 year contract with the Tigers. I don't know if the
Yeah.
contract details, but
Quickly, Nathan, Jimmy Garcia is confirmed.
yeah, got the notification too.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. 2 years, 15. I think that's the same contract he got last time.
Probably.
Hey,
How many bullpen
I like
arms
him.
do we need now? Like 4?
about 12. Well, he's now
Is he the
objectively
closer now?
best one. Yeah. He was the closer when Romano was hurt.
Oh, please,
He has to be. I'm cool with him being the
no.
closer. Better than Casey Jansen.
No.
Better than Osuna at the end.
Oh, no.
Give me Ken Giles.
Give me Jason Grilly.
Oh, fuck. Give me Brett
Prior
Cecil.
to him becoming the worst
Give me-
pitcher in the league.
Give me Brett Cecil.
That's it for all the
Give
signings.
me Sam Gaviglio.
Yeah, that's it for all the signings that have happened so far.
God, I can't wait for our Blue Jays preview when they've signed nobody. And they're like, well, internal improvement, 36-year-old George Springer.
All right. Should we go to the NHL now?
Sure.
'Cause
Four Nations or NHL? Which one?
Let's do NHL. I think we're gonna have to touch on Four Nations only because it's not even the biggest news.
Fine.
As much
I was
as-
looking forward to that. Fine.
I mean, basically, we know what our debate will be about because you're on one side, I'm on the other. Where's our notes? There.
Trouba, Shesterkin.
Yeah. Let's start with the Rangers because holy shit, they suck.
I think Drury fucked them sideways.
Yeah, a little
How
bit.
do you leak that?
Yeah.
How do you leak it? That's horrible. Like, what are you doing? Like, he leaked that they were open for business in November.
And they were trying to trade two of their long.
And they weren't even terrible at that point. They were
Nope.
just all right.
They had just lost to the Oilers 6-2.
And you know, I'm an Oiler guy, and they're better. They're better than they've been, but silly Billy.
Yeah. So yeah, and then they have gone 2-6 since Drury leaked that, and
Stupid.
they only have out of their 14 wins, I think 3 of them are against teams that made the playoffs last year. One of them being Vancouver. I think they have a win against the Lightning. I forget the other one.
Nashville.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, wait, against yeah, you're right. Never mind. I know they beat Nashville at least twice.
twice. Really?
Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. I'm thinking Tampa. Never mind.
So yeah, Trouba last week gets told, all right, waive your no move clause or your no trade clause, sorry, to one of these teams. We're trying to trade you. Choose your pick, or else you're going on waivers and you're getting sent there for nothing anyway. You're getting sent there regardless. So you can pick out of which one of these 4 I think it was 4 that were rumored. And he's like, you can pick which 4 you want to go to.
That was funny.
Yeah, and
He's
so
their captain, and they did that.
He sleeps on it and decides, okay, I'll go to Anaheim. Rejects a trade to Columbus. I believe the Red Wings were in on it, but they couldn't come to a trade agreement terms. And there was one more team that was interested. Not Ottawa. I'm not mentioning Ottawa. I know that was happening.
No.
Columbus.
Imagine he sleeps on it. He sleeps on it, and he wakes up, and he's on waivers. That would be so. I mean, he'd probably be Anaheim anyway, but
I think it was going to be Columbus.
I think they're ahead of Anaheim in the standings.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. But would you willingly take on that contract, off
Yes.
waiver?
They love him.
Okay.
I mean, GMs. I don't know if there's any worse player in the league that is loved more than Jacob Trouba. They love him. Big, strong. I
It's-
killed people.
Yeah.
Shoulders, elbows. 5-game suspension.
Now about that trade. Holy fuck, Pat Verbeek, what are you doing?
I actually like it.
What? No. I
Yeah.
love it for the Rangers. No.
It's good for both teams. And hear me out.
Okay.
It's good for the Rangers because they get to move on from a distraction, and they get $8 million of cap space. That's obvious. And they get Euro Vakanainen and
pretty
third
sure they have
pairing or whatever.
$21 million in cap space projected for the trade deadline right now.
Fuck. If I was telling this to Zach the other day, if I hear accrue cap space one more time, I'm going to kill myself because I don't know what it means for one, and it wasn't a thing beyond last year. And now I hear it 17 trillion times a day. Okay, so Rangers cap space. Maybe you can see what you got in Euro Vakanainen and former first-round pick. Probably nothing, but valuable depth. Okay, and you get to move on from a distraction. Anaheim. Anaheim is very close to becoming Buffalo. They are very close to having a losing culture because they've been out of the playoffs by like December every year for the past 6 years, right? They've already ruined Zegras. Troy Terry is good, but he's not a superstar. They ruined Drysdale before shipping him out. Mason McTavish, third overall pick. He's not a bust, but he ain't anything special. They need some leadership. And we know Trouba can bring that. They need some toughness. They need a little bit of, I'm going to kill you if you come across my blue line, because him and Gudas can provide that. And if maybe it propels them into the playoff spot, maybe not, but this is kind of move that sparks the dressing room a little bit. They're on notice now, the Ducks core. They're kind of like Detroit a few years ago, where, okay, and in Ottawa, where, okay, let's not be shit anymore. Time to turn a corner. Because Buffalo can't do it, because they have a losing culture. Anaheim's close to that. Well, part of it's because Greg Cronin ruined Zegras and the other young guys, and Verbeek's made some shitty draft picks. But, yeah, and hey, if it doesn't work, maybe by the trade deadline, someone will be stupid enough to trade him, and then you might have to retain a little bit. And next year, if you're in the same situation, you definitely trade him because he's the exact kind of defenseman someone is stupid enough to pony up for the trade deadline for the playoffs.
Fair enough.
So that's why I like it for Anaheim.
I just can't believe the Rangers got off the books without retaining a thing. And he is not good.
People think he's good.
He's not.
There's a difference between I can't overstate that, Nathan, that people think he's good. I cannot he's not Cody Ceci.
Yeah.
Where coaches love him. He's better than him. But people think he's good, and people have always thought he's good.
Did you see the report that the Jets and the Canucks were interested in? I think even Montreal, maybe. And he said, yeah, and he's like, I'm not playing in Canada.
Oh, okay. I don't care. That's been known for years.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in Canada.
Yeah,
he's Canadian too, which is kind of odd.
Is he? I thought he was American.
He might be a dual citizen. I don't know. Who cares? I don't care about if Jacob Trouba wants to come back to Canada. We had to hear it for years when he was in Winnipeg, yada, yada, yada. But I mean, hey, man, you don't like it? Negotiate a no-move clause. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, people are like, oh, they're so mean to him. Oh, how could they do this?
No, you have no trade and a no move for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little
better.
harsh, but,
or my wife works at the hospital. And yeah, hey man, that's cool. Good for her. She's got a good job. I don't care. You're making $8 billion.
Well, they tried to do this in the off season too, and it just didn't work. But like he was
also
trying to,
he was also
saying
himself with his comments. This is probably my last year here. Like that's shit for the locker room. You're the captain. You got to get with it a little bit.
Did you see him kind of saying it weighed on him, kind of them trying to force him out, and he chose to stay because it was his family? As like the captain stuff, it's like, why don't you just give up your captaincy if you're feeling all that pressure? Like why not do that before the year?
I'm surprised he was even captain. Like I thought it would be Kreider a few years ago.
Yeah, like either I'm surprised the Rangers didn't lift the captaincy and give it to someone else, or him just being
that's a distraction. That makes it worse. Remember, Eichel was stripped of his captaincy. I know he wasn't playing because he had his surgery, but that became a circus.
Mm-hmm. They did it with Thornton.
And how did that work?
He left like a year later.
Yeah, and what did John Tortorella say about Joe Thornton like in 2011 or whatever?
I'm not sure.
Joe Thornton hasn't won fuck all in this league, so I'm not listening to him. Paraphrasing, but I remember because Thornton's kind of a fun guy, not in the Kawhi sense, but he kind of fucks around a little bit. So I think he was criticizing Tortorella, kind of laughing around, and of course Tortorella doesn't laugh around. So he's like, Joe Thornton's won fuck all in this league. He can go fuck himself. It's kind of
I think
funny.
I remember this quote now that you talk about it.
Even though Thornton's won individual accolades and a gold medal, but
yeah,
in terms of Stanley Cups, he didn't win one.
All right, so. And then Rangers turn around 8 years and $11.5 million per year to Igor Shesterkin. This is an overpay.
We'll see. I mean, it's important that they got him under Panarin.
Yes.
So if he can play at the level he thinks he can play at, it's fine. if he continues the current stretch, they're in trouble. I don't have much to say on this. It's good for that's another distraction gone because I was also impacting them.
I agree you had to sign him, but just considering what all the other top goalies are signing for, and I know you'll say, oh, the no state tax market, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's fair, but he's making $11.5 million, and I think there's only one other goalie making 10 right now, and it's Sergei Bobrovsky, only at 10, like right at 10.
Yeah.
If you could have got it to 10.5, 11 would have been fine. I don't know. Plus, he's like a 30-year-old goaltender already, signed for 8 more years, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how that ages. I don't necessarily like it though. Like still, I'd give it like a B signing.
Yeah.
You need to get it done, but bit of an overpay. Avs, they went. How do you flip your goalies tandem in a week? That's hard to do.
Well, I'll tell you how you do it. They both be terrible in sinking your season.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
A Noonan and a draft pick to Nashville. I believe it was a 6th for Scott Wedgwood.
Yep.
Wedgwood has come in and looked like a god the 2 games he's played for them.
That's kind of his deal, though. He does that, and then he's like, I'm a backup.
Yeah,
so don't blame me that much.
They realized he wasn't going to be that thing. But then the big one yesterday was Georgiev, Kovalenko, and a 2nd for Mackenzie Blackwood, a 5th, I believe.
And Giovanni Smith.
I think there was also another pick, like a 6th from Colorado going to San Jose. It's good, but like
it's an overpay. And if Blackwood returns to New Jersey Blackwood, they're in huge trouble.
Yeah. I'm not sold on Mackenzie Blackwood. Like, I think they upgraded their goaltending from ass to like mid.
Yeah. I mean, they don't need stellar goaltending.
They don't.
Colorado. Because remember, who's the goalie in their cup?
Well, Darcy Kemper, but Darcy Kemper was like a top 10 goalie at that time.
For one season.
Yeah.
So they just need someone to be good. Right?
Fair enough.
I think Blackwood can probably do that.
Fair enough. Good deal for the Sharks, I'm going to say.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Mike Greer's done well in his recent trades. Not his early trades, but his recent trades have been good.
What was the early trades you don't like?
I didn't like the Carlson trade when it was done. Although that hasn't worked for Pittsburgh. Yeah. Hurdle. I didn't like Hurdle.
Would they get a 1st and a 3rd?
No, it was a 1st and like the last pick of the 1st round. What was his name? They just traded him. They traded him the Askarov deal. It was Vegas's 1st round pick. He was like 30th overall.
Yeah.
A Swedish guy. I can't remember his name. Somebody.
They got 2 firsts for that? I thought it was only 1.
It was like Ekberg or something like that.
Huh. But it was 2 firsts in that deal? I thought it was just 1.
Edstrom. David Edstrom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It was they sent Edstrom the other way. In the deal. So
and they got 2 firsts back? What? I thought they got 1.
No, because they got Askarov. Or hold on. No. Fuck, I don't know.
I'm pulling up this
because
deal.
they got Edstrom back for Hurdle, and they traded Edstrom for Askarov. I think.
It was Hurdle to Vegas for Edstrom and a 1st. Okay. And then 3rd round picks in 2025 and 2020.
And they retained. God, they retained on that one. Ugh.
3rd round picks in 2025 and 2027 were sent to Vegas.
Mid. Oh, that's horrible. Good Lord.
Well, you couldn't give up 7 years of a deal left.
They retained. Good Lord. Yes, they retained on Hurdle. That's one of their retention slots.
They probably barely did anything, like 2%, 3%.
It's not a good trade. But anyway, continue.
Okay, now we can talk about Four Nations. That's all the NHL stuff I think we got to talk about for the week. There's a lot, but Four Nations.
Yeah.
Joseph hates the roster selection process. Basically, I'm okay.
I hate the process. Okay. I apologize to Brandon Hagel. I didn't realize how good you are. Okay. I didn't realize he had 76 points last year, and he's well above point per game. Excuse me, I'm just eating a pepperoni. 1 second. Yeah, peak professionalism, 2 years of journalism school. Okay, I'm ready. I didn't realize Hagel was that good. And I know he plays with Point, and I know he plays with Sorelli a bit, Cool. You're better than I thought. Sam Bennett's going to take about 4 penalties, and he's going to screw this team. His career high in points, Nathan, what is it? Guess what it is? He's going to break it this year, but before this
I'm
season,
gonna say it's 55.
lower.
Really? 50?
Yeah. Lower.
45?
Higher.
48?
Higher.
49?
Yes.
Wow.
Nathan, I said lower on 50 and higher on 48. It's got to be 49.
Yeah, I know.
Math. Okay. He's not very good. I hate this. Oh, we need some grit in the bottom six. You got Marchand. You got Stone does a little bit of that. Stone's a sneaky, dirty player. You got Konechny, who I don't mind being on the team. I know he's been good.
I like Konechny. He's very underrated. I
Yes,
wish I
love
put him on
Konechny.
my team.
I
wish I
Konechny.
put him on my team.
I love Konechny. I would have brought Scheifele. They're so timid, Hockey Canada, in their selections. Like, you know why they took Montembeault over Thompson?
Because Thompson didn't like backing up Hill in Vegas.
Fuck off. If that's the reason Thompson didn't go, if he's like, I don't want to back up Hill, shut the fuck up. It's international competition. Good Lord. You think whatever. I read it was because Thompson didn't go to the World Championships and Montembeault did.
I also read it was. I didn't hear that. I read that for Suzuki though.
Fuck off. That is the stupidest reasoning I've ever seen. No one cares about. Okay, about 18 people on the planet care about the World Championships, and 15 of them are in Hockey Canada. It's not best on best. It's not a real competition, and they lose every year. So who cares? Like, they hardly ever win. They haven't won, I think, since 2021 with the Nick Paul winner.
All those guys would probably just rather get going with their vacations for the summer.
Yes. And Nick Suzuki is better than Cirelli. I'm sorry. He's better than him. I know Cirelli's good defensively. So is Suzuki. I mean, there's so many better. I like Seth Jarvis. I really do. He's a really good player. There's about 10 people I would have taken over him. And that includes Bedard. There's just some of these picks. Colton Parayko is not very good.
That's the one I'm a little bit.
And he's going to play. He's going to be the
sixth defenseman.
Believe me, I know what Evan Bouchard's good at. I know what he's bad at. I know he's bad at defense. Believe me, I know. Even though he's been killed by Skinner this year, he's better than Parayko. I mean, Parayko.
No. I'm not saying that. Like, yeah, he definitely is. But Bouchard is not going to play that role well. You need somebody who can play that role well.
I understand the role. They're scared. They went to this process timid. They're following the American 2016 World Cup playbook. They built their roster for their opponents and not the best team they could have. And that's bad business, man. If I'm Apple, I ain't building to beat BlackBerry. I'm building, well, BlackBerry's dead anyway, but I'm building to be the best I can possibly be. Right? Do you think Coca-Cola cares about Pepsi? Not particularly. They just want to be the best they can be. Pepsi's always shitting on Coke because they're the number two. They're little brothers, right? Mm-hmm. Sanheim is good, but would I have brought him over even Chris Tanev or Morgan Riley? I don't know. Uyghur, he's really good. I think he's better than Parayko.
I would have brought Uyghur instead of Parayko. That would have been my pick.
Petrangelo's really good. He's not what he used to be. Him and Theodore are actually getting caved in at even strengths on Vegas, but they don't care because they're like, oh, they play together. Cale Makar's probably having the worst season of his career because when he's not on the ice with McKinnon, he gets killed. Now
you're saying he's having the worst year of his career, and he's the
yes,
North
I know
favorite.
It's kind of funny. Well, I mean that's bullshit. I mean, you should be Hughes, but
I'm not fully there yet, actually. Okay. As a Canucks fan, as a Hughes fan,
I don't care. Fucking Quinn Hughes, Bobble man. What was I saying? Makar, he's going to be with a lot of McKinnons on the ice. He'll play with McKinnon. He'll play with good players, so he'll be fine. Now, the elephant in the room is the goaltending. You know what? I kind of changed my tune a little bit. Jordan Binnington can't start on this team. It's got to be Hayden Hill. He has looked really bad lately. Good Lord. I was watching that Edmonton game and allowing Troy Stetcher to score on you in the year 2024, almost 25. Oh, it's malpractice. Troy Stetcher might have the worst shot I've seen on any Canuck defenseman. And I watch Matt Barkowski play. So, well, it's just Don Sweeney overthinking it. Doug Armstrong doing his guys. with Parayko. John Cooper, I love John Cooper. Not loving Sorelli. I've turned around on Hagel. But man, this team is not better than the Americans.
No, I don't think
They
they're
have better star
skill-
power.
I don't think they're better skill wise. I think they're probably more trying to beat them. I think you hit it on the head. They're trying to beat them physically and stuff. And I
Fucking
mean,
hell.
that's not even a
I
bad
was
idea.
looking at.
Look
Yes,
at the
it
Ameri-
is.
Look
Yes,
at
it
the
is.
look at the American team though. They are small and like fast. They're not physical. They won't be able to take getting bumped around.
Repeat after me, Nathan. Small and good is better than big and bad.
Is
I
it?
just yes.
Is
Oh my
it?
God, yes. Yes.
Is it though?
Would you rather have Quinn Hughes or Dion
Hey,
Phaneuf?
Okay, Quinn Hughes, no shit. But listen to me.
Fucking hell.
Listen to this though. Go back the past. I don't even like you can there's maybe one outlier. I would say
Are you going to bring up the Vegas defense? Because I'm going to punch you in the face.
no, I'm just gonna say teams in general. Florida was physical and more
Florida won
wear
because
you
of
down.
Bobrovsky.
They'll I mean
Florida
they're-
won because of Bobrovsky and
just
Skinner being
whatever.
ass for a few games.
Listen. They are a team that's going to beat you by wearing you down, not
Fuck off.
with your skills.
It's 4 games.
Vegas, same thing.
It's 4 games.
Colorado, sure, they beat you with your skill because you have McKinnon, you have McCarr.
And they were the best finals team probably the last decade.
Tampa was probably a very good mix of both, in my opinion.
Bubble, guppy, guppies. Like, come on. Those were 2 bubble seasons.
Okay.
And they beat Montreal, who shouldn't have even been there.
2019, St. Louis. You think they're a team built off skill? No.
That was pure fucking luck, that team. That was Binnington playing insane. They got enough goal support, and their defense was good enough. And Boston played the worst Game 7 I've seen since the Vancouver Canucks.
Ouch.
I ain't lying.
But you get my point? Like,
No, I don't get your point.
Yes.
It's 4 games. Could
Like,
even be 3 if they play like shit.
This is a copycat league, Joseph. How many times have you heard this saying?
Okay, I'll raise you that point. How did Pittsburgh win back-to-back cups?
Okay.
Speed and skill, asshat.
No,
and that's
both-
what everyone
they-
did for the next couple of years. And then people were like, Tom Wilson. You know how close Tom Wilson was to making this team?
I don't actually know. how
Very
it was.
close. Very close. Tom Wilson isn't good at anything except for killing people. And once every 3 years, he goes on a 25% shooting bender, and the analysts are like, that's what they're like with Tom Wilson.
Okay.
You
I want
didn't
to
even
say.
see my funny joke.
I
You
want
weren't
to
even
say.
looking.
I want to say with
Did you
Sam
miss
Bennett
that? That was really funny.
a little bit. I want to say. I was thinking about my next point with Sam Bennett. I know you
You
hate
know,
it.
he's one of the worst players in the league at taking penalties.
Yeah, sure. Do you realize how good of a year he's having this year?
Yes, I know he's going to break his career. I said that.
No, but he's almost point per game.
Zippity fucking doodah. You know who else is almost point per game?
Who?
Macklin Celebrini.
Okay, he would get bullied in this tournament as an 18.
Of course he would. Fuck. Oh, fuck. I mean, do I need to remind you what happened to the Americans in 2016? How many games did they win in that tournament?
I don't actually know. I can't remember.
0. They went 0-3. They lost to Team Europe, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, Team Europe made the finals that year.
Yeah, because fucking Sweden shit the bed against North America. Stupid ass tournaments, God.
I forget the format of that.
It was you know what the final was? It was a best of 3. What the fuck? Like what were they thinking?
Yeah,
Like,
I remember.
that was a best of 3?
Yeah, I remember
Like,
that.
what the fuck were they thinking? The best
What?
part of hockey is it's one and done.
What?
or
What
international.
was that?
That's the whole point of international hockey.
What was that tournament format?
It was round robin with 3 groups, I want to say.
3.
And then
How many
and then
teams?
It was,
Well, Russia, Canada, Sweden, USA, Finland, North
Czechia.
America. Czechia was there. Was Slovakia there?
No.
They were on right. So
there was 4 groups or 4 teams per group, I want to say. 4, 8, 12.
out of 12 teams? No,
No.
8. Probably 2 groups. Two
Groups of 4 probably.
because Czechia, we'll say Czechia, Sweden, USA, Canada, Finland, North America, Europe, Russia. That's 8. It's got to be right.
Sure. That was just a stupid tournament. I had so much fun watching it and
Wait.
looking back.
Wasn't it a Slovak team and not a Czechia team? Am I tripping?
No, it was Czechs.
I could
I was watching the highlights of that the other day. It was Czechs.
I could have sworn like Chara was playing
Nope,
for
Chara was
Slovakia.
Europe. Chara was playing for Europe, I remember.
Gotcha. Huh.
So was Kopitar. Fuck. What a stupid tournament. But the Americans, they brought in Tortorella and they brought in Abdelkader and Dubinsky and all these bums. and they got their asses kicked because they were like, "Oh, we're gonna bully Canada." Like, I hope Canada wins. I hope so.
I hope they do too, so I can just dunk in your face.
You wouldn't even be dunking at me because they might just win because McDavid scores 20 points in 4 games.
And I will love McDavid for that. The
Oh,
one
I
time
love McDavid anyway.
the one time I will love McDavid.
You didn't love McDavid in the World Juniors?
Okay, that the second time I will love McDavid.
What about the Olympics in 2 years? Year and a half.
That will be the third time.
What about 2030?
That will be the fourth.
What
And
about
then-
what
and then-
about what if it's Oilers Leafs in the finals?
Oh God, I don't think I think I might
Oilers
gouge,
Bruins. Oilers
think-
Bruins.
I think I might gouge my eyes out for both.
Really? You
Yeah.
would cheer for the Bruins over the Oilers.
I
Oilers
I
Flames.
wouldn't
Actually,
cheer
well,
for
can't be
either.
Oilers Flames.
I wouldn't cheer for either.
Anyway, the point is with this Canada roster, they are building themselves out to screw it up. They intentionally didn't take the best team. That is objective. It is. I was looking at Jay Fresh's analytics because I'm a nerd. He stinks offensively.
Who's that?
Parayko.
Oh, yeah.
He provides nothing.
Parayko's there for defense.
I don't know, man.
You don't need offense when you have Makar, Taves,
What if there's an
Theodore,
injury?
Morrissey on your back end.
Remember what happened to Sochi? John Tavares was injured and they had people to step up.
Okay. If there's an injury, you bring somebody, you sign one of your skill guys that you
An
left off.
injury during the tournament.
I think you can add somebody.
I don't know, can you? I mean, and they're going to be airlifted in and be good? Come on. They're going to be coming in from a beach. If that's the case.
Maybe. I'm sure.
Whatever. I mean, I hope they do well. They have the worst goaltending in the tournament. Their bottom six is unspectacular. Is Mark Stone even going to play? I don't know. You'll probably have Mark Stone-itis by that point. So I can't get behind a few of these selections. Can't do it.
Let's go to the US quickly, just a couple of their snubs. Tage Thompson left off.
Scared of his defense.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. They're scaredy cats as well. It's just they made a few less dumb mistakes in Canada.
Caulfield left off, I think. It's
Scared of his
fine.
size.
Yeah. Besser was left off.
Hasn't played very much, and he hasn't even been great this year.
Goal scoring wise, maybe, but Besser's rounded out his game. Like he's not just a sniper anymore. I think that's objectively true. Demko left off as the goalie. Makes sense. Knee injury, whatever. Get it. Terms of defense, John Carlson was the big one that got left off. Thought he had a claim for it over Hannafin. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who else on the States? Am I forgetting anyone? Kreider making it and Brock Nelson making it were the two surprises a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with both, but I understand them.
I don't know.
I would have taken maybe Kreider. I don't know if I'm there on Brock Nelson.
I wouldn't have taken either. Unless you were told Nelson to kill Binnington, which he might. I mean, if Price was there, you bring Kreider all the time.
Team Sweden's big snub. Probably
Nobody really.
William Eklund. Arvidsson making it was a surprise considering how injured he's been and how good he's not even. He hasn't even.
He's done fuck all.
Yeah.
With Edmonton. So.
Trying to think who else. Hampus Lindholm snubbed off.
Well, injured. So.
Called it though. Brody and making it.
Yep, you're right.
Goalies are the same, and then Finland. Only big surprise I think is Jokiharju getting left off.
Yeah. Or
they only had
Hakanpää.
like They only had like one other defenseman to choose from other than him.
I mean, Finland. If Finland is going to win, they have to be good defensively. They have to,
which is
because they're not outscoring anybody. So you might as well bring Hakanpää. Right.
Yeah, and it's going to be like you need to be good, like team defensively, because their defense isn't even that good.
Yeah,
it's objectively the worst in the tournament.
Yeah, they're the worst at everything but goaltending. That's us.
Do they have the worst forwards?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's worse than Sweden.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That wrap up the Four Nation talk?
I think so.
Okay. Do you want to go full-ish kind of game by game? Like I can go quick, same thing, or do you want to just jump? Should we go Kirk Cousins talk?
I think we just go Kirk Cousins.
Okay. Kirk Cousins, it might be time to get benched, buddy. it might be time to give Penix a shot.
I
I'm
don't
a
know,
Kirk
man.
fan. I'm a Kirk fan,
So
and
am
I
I.
think it might be time.
I think you give him one more game.
I don't know how you can after his past month. I don't know if you've seen his past month, but
It's not been good. I know.
he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in his last 4 games, and he has thrown 8 interceptions.
Not good.
Not
Not
good.
good. Not good.
He's at 17 touchdowns and 15 interceptions for the year. He's been
Not great.
sacked 25 times
It's not that bad.
over how many games?
14. So that's on pace for like 30, 35.
13, so 2 a game-ish.
Not too bad.
Throwing for 261 yards a game.
Not horrible.
Yeah, I don't. The Falcons are blowing their season right now, though. They've lost 4 in a row. I think 5, 4, 4. They now are out of a playoff spot as they trail the Bucks, who they have a tiebreaker over. So they're basically a half game, like 1 game out. It's not like they're down in the Cardinals case over the Seahawks now. They're basically 3 games back because the Seahawks have won both games over them. So they have the tiebreaker. I don't know. You kind of have you have a rookie, quote unquote, but Penix is not really young enough to be considered a rookie. Like he's like a 24, 25-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you just gave so much money to Kirk to pull the plug on
Either
him in year one.
it's like either way, it's either you're overpaying for Kirk or you're pulling the plug on Kirk, making that much money. Or with Penix, if he comes in and struggles, then it's like, fuck. What do we do?
Yeah.
We overpaid
back
on
to
Kirk.
I know.
No, we've overpaid on Kirk, and now we have a quarterback we're not so sure in.
Sam Darnold time, baby.
Ugh,
That's what you do.
I don't
Geno
even know.
Smith.
I don't know if the Vikings are going to re-sign him.
I don't think they will. They got McCarthy coming in.
Yeah.
So.
Where do you think Darnold would even sign?
Jets. He's already there.
Not
though.
again. No.
Horribly. Maybe Giants.
I can see that. I think they're going to draft. I think they're in a position to draft their quarterback, though.
Jets. So it couldn't happen to a worse franchise.
I'm trying to think who's going to have quarterback openings next year.
Depends on what Carolina does with Bryce Young.
I think they'll keep Bryce Young for another year.
He's been pretty good lately.
He's been good. But yeah,
we'll see.
I'm kind of on the fence of bench Kirk.
Yeah, I'd give him one more game. I know it's getting late for that.
They play the Raiders on the road on Monday night.
You got to be able to beat the fucking Raiders.
Yeah.
You have to. They got nobody. They're playing not Minshew anymore. They're playing Aiden O'Connell.
Well, now he's hurt. It's
who are they playing? You?
Desmond Ridder, revenge game.
Oh Christ! If you can't beat Desmond Ridder, go to the CFL.
How's your fantasy leagues turning out?
I just won last week. I don't know how playoffs work in this one. I think I'm 4th out of 8.
So you'd be in the playoffs, I think. I clinched first round bye in my one main league, and then I was knocked out of playoffs in my other one, or didn't make it.
5th out of 8.
Ooh, do your playoffs start this week? Because you might be.
I don't know how it works. Week 15, next week.
Next week your playoffs start?
Yeah.
Is it a 2-week playoff only?
Championship semifinal. No.
Oh,
yeah, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay, so that's
everyone's gonna make the playoffs. It looks like.
Wait. Your league sucks then. Your league's gonna end in the last week of the season.
That's cool. I like that.
No, that's so bad. Everyone gets sat.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? CD Lamb better. Also, this fucking what's his name? The Vikings cut their kicker the other day, so I went without a kicker and I still won. But oh well.
Set your lineups.
Well, I didn't even fucking realize he was cut. Why was he cut? He played well. Should I pick up here? I'll pick up this. I'll get Young Wei Quay. Claim.
Young Wei Koo, you mean?
I'm pretty sure it's Quay.
It's cool.
Yeah, whatever. Goodbye, Romo. But alas, am I even going to win this week? Herbert's questionable.
Yeah, he's got a leg contusion, I think. I think he's
a leg contusion.
I'll
probably play Smith and Jigba over Lamb.
Who else you got on your receivers?
Higgins, Evans,
I'd sit
Ridley,
Higgins over.
Worthy,
I'd sit
Shakir.
I'd
I
sit
like
Higgins.
Shakir.
I'd sit Higgins first over CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was good this week.
Yeah, for the first time in like a year. But we'll see.
Okay.
I have to play St. Brown and Hurts, so I'm gonna lose anyway, probably.
I'll just quickly go over game recap then, I guess. Lions, Packers. Packers potential frauds. They've only beat one team over 500. They play the Seahawks this week on Sunday night. It'll be a big, good test for both. Lions are still good. They find a way. Seahawks, Cardinals.
I'm a little concerned about Dan Campbell.
Why is that?
Please stop shooting yourself in the foot.
With?
You got lucky last week.
Okay. Seahawks, Cardinals. Cardinals are out. See ya. Now it's just the Rams, basically, we got to worry about. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm cheering for the Niners this week. They play it Thursday. Vikings, Falcons. Sam Darnold, him. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. We kind of just talked about why Kirk should be benched. Saints, Giants, don't care. Snooze fest. Giants find new ways to lose again. Jags, Titans, nobody cares. Jags shot themselves in the foot for the first overall pick, maybe. Bucks, Raiders. Raiders are gonna draft Shadur Sanders. I think. Probably. And yeah, Bucks back to first in the division. Steelers, Browns. Russ is back. Russ is him. Still my bandwagon team if the Seahawks choke or get eliminated. Eagles, Panthers, Bryce Young. And we just talked about it. Bryce Young has looked good in this game for the most part. That, like last drive, he was good. He just got screwed by Leggett dropping the ball.
Yeah.
And Eagles, they're still my Super Bowl pick. They got to figure out their passing offense, though.
They're good, man.
Brown's pissed off. Smith was pissed off. Hurts didn't like what's going on in the passing game either. They all kind of said so. Something to figure out there and keep an eye on. My screen just closed on me. Dolphins, Jets. Rodgers loses again. When is he going to get shut down? Like, it's got to happen soon.
God, for fuck's sake. Who's their backup?
Is
Nobody
it Tyrod
good.
Taylor? It might
That's the
be.
most generic backup I've ever heard.
It might be.
Well, I mean, season's over.
It is Tyrod Taylor.
Well, coach is gone. They're not going to bring back their interim guy, whatever his name is.
Definitely not.
If they bring back Rodgers, they're idiots.
They're not. He's not.
What a schmuck.
He'll try and play somewhere else, and everyone's
It'll be in the Trump
see ya. We don't want
administration
you.
anyway.
We'll take Sam Darnold over you instead. Rams, Bills, game of the year potential or question mark? Sick game.
It's a good one. Although bad play calling kind of killed the Bills a little bit.
I kind of liked the QB sneak idea. Like, you're on the one, I get it. They should have designed it better though.
Yeah, it was poorly
It was
executed.
a poor scheme, in my opinion. Just do like the Eagles tush push and that's it, right? But they kind of had to like disguise it. Oh, look, we're gonna hand it off. Blah blah blah. Or, I don't know. It looked weird. Sorry, my phone closed again. Rams huge win though. Keep pace in the division. I am scared of them a little bit.
I would be.
That week 18 game is shaping up to be very, very big.
Yeah.
Probably for the division. Maybe puts one team in the playoffs, kicks out the other. We'll see. Niners, Bears. Niners potentially back sneaking in. I can't see it. I still think they're like out.
Me neither.
Maybe a wild card if the Commanders choke, but I don't know. They got to like win this week against the Rams to keep it up.
God, are the Commanders going to bring their old name back?
No.
Edmonton might.
The
But it's a little
Eskimos?
different.
Like the
That's
Elks, you mean?
Alberta. No. Well, yes, the Elks. Go back to the Eskimos.
Oh.
It's Alberta. It's a little different than Washington.
Chiefs and Chargers. Black Magic reigns supreme once again. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I don't really get it.
Ridiculous. I mean, what are they doing? What child did they sacrifice?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, future child.
Hey, Nathan, that biological clock is ticking. What is she, 35 turning in a, because I know she's December like me, because of 1989, right? Tick. I mean, possible. Tick.
Bengals Cowboys. What a weird ending. Do you see the ending of this game?
The blocked kick.
Yeah, the block kick, and then they tried to return it, and they botched it, and then the
Right,
Bengals
because
got it back.
you can't touch it. You can't touch the ball.
Once it's past the line of scrimmage, if you
Yes.
muff it, then
Yes.
the other team can claim it and get the ball back.
That's right. I wonder why they don't just like the kicker doesn't like run 30 feet over and then just kick the ball as hard as he can at like one of the gunners or one of the opposing gunner. I
Well,
mean, that would it's hard to execute on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bengals were coming back. Hey.
because even then, if you kick it, it might just like fly out of play.
Yeah. Or
So-
just like do like a squib kick variation.
or you might kick it, it hits them, but then goes in like back towards your goal line or something. Like there's just so many
Yeah.
wrong possibilities with it.
Yeah. But hey, Bengals, we're coming back. Woo!
No. Well, you're 5-8 now. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Ye-
cooked.
And I think 8-5 is 8-5 is the Broncos right now, and the Chargers.
Yeah.
You do play the Broncos though.
Bo Nix.
You actually the Broncos schedule isn't that nice. They go with the Colts, who still have a chance, especially if they beat them. Then they play the Chargers. Then they play the Bengals. And then they play the
Bengals.
Chiefs.
God, fucking Chiefs. I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah. So I believe if the Colts lose this week, they're going to be eliminated from contention for that wild card spot. No, wait. Would they?
I don't know.
It depends on what happens. Well, maybe not from the playoffs because who knows what happens. No, they lost both of the Texans, so they'd be eliminated from that too if the Texans win. And then if the Chargers, so there's a chance they could be eliminated this week. I'm pretty sure if the Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, Texans all win, they're out.
Pain. God, those Chiefs, it just bothers me.
Yeah.
At least they're not a big market. God, Patrick Mahomes. He's not even playing well. That's what bothers me. Joe Burrow's having this great season, and he's dragging them to the occasional victories. And Patrick Mahomes is playing like Alex Smith, and they're winning every game.
Yeah, what's Burrow's
He's got like
33
35
to
and 4.
6?
Yeah, like, it's ridiculous. And Patrick
He's
Mahomes'
throwing-
numbers are good, but he's
Throwing
like
for
he's
285 a game.
And they
Chase
still
is
have no
having a sick year.
receivers. They have no receivers. They hardly have any running game. They're doing this bullshit every week. I hope they lose in the first round. That'd be really funny.
Well, they're going to get the bye, it looks like, so I don't know if that's possible.
Anyway, were you at the Eras tour, Nathan?
I was not. Were you?
No. Did you know any of your pals go? Your sister go? I know
My
she
sister
wanted
was
to go.
there, yeah.
She enjoy it?
I think so. I haven't really talked to her about it, but she said she was saying that she saw Quinn Hughes driving into Rogers Arena
Okay.
because she went the Friday night. And she's like, we saw him driving in for his game. I'm like, where's my autograph?
Where's my $1 million?
Yeah.
She tried to
Wow.
extort him.
I don't get the
I don't
hype.
really care either.
I get going to one. I've heard people who have gone to like 5 shows.
There was someone from New Orleans there. Oh,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that is an insane level of fandom. Like
They're
I
a
don't get
cult.
it. Yes.
There's a certain person in BCIT who is nuts. I follow the Instagram with Taylor Swift. Like it's a little nuts. I'll text it to you. Like it's like beyond cult level. It's a little much. I mean, good lord.
We'll leave it. We'll leave it off camera. But I think I know who it is.
I mean, these people got to calm down a little bit. It ain't Elvis. It ain't the Beatles. It ain't like let's just chill out a little bit. She's great, and I realize I'm not the target audience, so it's not for me. But like, good lord, I mean, let's all chill out here a little bit.
We had one of the guys.
The last
in my
album
fantasy-
wasn't even good. Like, you ever listen to So High School? It's the corniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
We had one of my fantasy group league mates say that his girlfriend's friend, they went to 2 Vancouver shows, I think a Seattle show, I think a Paris and a Toronto show.
Jesus Christ, where do you get this kind of money?
I don't know.
Like, because those tickets are thousands of dollars. Like,
Apparently, Vancouver was really expensive. compared
well,
to
Zach
that.
was telling me one of our old classmates went and got $16 seats where you couldn't see anything. It was
16?
Yeah, well, they're behind the auditorium or whatever it is. They're behind the stage, so you can't see anything.
But you could still hear it.
For fuck's sake, just go on Spotify. That's what, or go
Yeah,
to
no,
YouTube.
the
Live
joke
stream
got,
it.
the joke got brought up. It's like, why go to 5 shows and pay all that money when you can be very cost efficient and just watch the movie instead?
Well, God, I mean, I'm not a Taylor Swift guy, but I got to respect her business acumen. She milks every possible dollar she can out of her fan base. It's very funny. But
Yeah.
one funny thing about Taylor Swift is the Swifties, they will support her in any way, but they won't support her film career, and that's kind of funny. Like her
Yeah.
her acting career, not like her concert films.
What was like the movie?
It was
like
Amsterdam. It was so bad.
Was
She is
Was she the one that gets run over in the beginning
Yes.
of the movie?
She's in it for like 10 minutes. She's like in the trailer the whole time. And then she just gets killed. And it's really funny because you can tell like the director just has no time for her. It's really funny. And that movie bombed because the Swifties don't care. They just want to hear her sing.
Yeah.
And she was in Cats, which is horrible. And she was in The Lorax, which I saw as a child.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Zac Efron of all people. So
Did they used to date?
nah, it's Vanessa Hudgens.
No, I thought for whatever reason they dated too. But
I mean, Taylor Swift's been with so many celebrities.
what's that?
Taylor Swift has been with many celebrities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I kind of thought. It might have been him.
She was with Harry Styles back in the day. That was a big thing. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Um, anything else? NBA or NFL wise? Nothing.
No.
Okay, NBA. I want to talk about what the Rockets should do because
I know what
they're
they should do.
they're good. They
They should
have
build around Dylan Brooks.
they're good. Do they stay this good and just keep going the course, or do they eventually make a big trade and like trade one of the young pieces?
I think they have to make a trade.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you this right now, Rocket fans. Fred VanVleet ain't number 1. He ain't even a number 2. It
No
ain't going
shit.
to work.
I don't think he is. Is he like the number one?
Who is it? Green?
Probably, it's like Green and Şengün, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
He's not a champion. Let me rephrase. He's not a championship point guard.
It goes Green's averaging 19 and a half, Şengün 18 and a half, Van Vliet 16, Brooks 12, like 13 pretty much. Amen 12, Jabari Smith 11 and a half,
Okay, so it's Green.
Eason 11.
Well, I mean, God, they need one more guy. They can make the playoffs. They can maybe win a round, but that's it.
Yeah, they kind of need an alpha.
And that ain't
I
Fred.
think they thought Green was going to be that, but he's just too inefficient and streaky at times.
Just for fun last night, I was looking at like the play-in loss the Raptors had where DeMar DeRozan's daughter was screaming the whole time. God, they were terrible that game. They had no business even being there. Everyone was so bad.
Yep.
Fred was like 8 of 22 in that game.
Yep.
Why are you shooting 20 times? Nurse. Nick Nurse. Man.
So, and yeah, it kind of leads into what the news was in the NBA today was Jimmy Butler is apparently being the key to listening to trade offers on him.
Yeah, he didn't speak to the media today.
Yep.
He refused.
Yep, I saw that. He prefers to be traded to Houston, which is his hometown,
Right.
Dallas, or Golden State.
Boy, some real selective. I mean, we can all see that it's over in Miami.
Yeah,
Their championship window was closed. Their chance was the bubble, and the year after. I guess they made it in the Nuggets year, but they weren't real contenders that year. I don't think. That was like one of the most lopsided finals I've seen in a while. Yeah, I mean, still a good player. Kind of a weird player because he can't shoot.
He can't shoot in the regular season, but then he starts shooting in the playoffs and starts hitting. It makes no sense.
He's kind of weird too. Like he needs to be the alpha. He needs to be.
I don't think he needs to be. I think he.
How did it work in Minnesota? How did it work in Philly?
I think Philly, they could have easily made it to the finals if they didn't run into the Raptors. If Kawhi shot doesn't go in,
they lose. They get their fucking asses kicked in overtime.
Who?
The Raptors. The Raptors get their asses kicked in overtime. They had nothing in the tank.
Maybe.
No one played well that game.
No,
even Kawhi.
Nobody
even
on the other
Kawhi
side
didn't play well.
Nobody on the other side played well either.
Well, because Embiid was choking. Simmons was at the end of his goodness. Because it was that coming off season he refused to play.
No,
that training camp.
It was like the next year. Yeah, it was.
Anyway, but he's got to be. And in Minnesota, He hated Wiggins. He hated Cat. He hated the coach. He hated everybody there, and he was hell bent on ruining it. If he doesn't have his way, he will blow it up. Right? So is that going to work with Dylan Brooks in the room?
I think Dylan Brooks might have to go the other way for salary.
I wouldn't do that.
I
He's kind of
would.
important to them. They like him there.
Jimmy's an upgrade over Dylan Brooks.
Well, no shit.
They're basically
But-
they're kind of like similar stylish players almost too.
Yeah, he's kind of like it. He's kind of Dylan Brooks is the Michael Jordan of Matthew Dellavedovas.
Oh God, not this again.
I love Dylan Brooks,
Um,
but he's got to tone it down. We all know that.
if I'm looking at like trade packages, like you got to think it's got to be like would it be like Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks for Jimmy and like a pick?
Jalen Green?
Yeah, I don't know if
Not
they'd
a
sell him.
chance. I'd trade Jalen Green for Jimmy Butler.
I would.
I wouldn't even do that for 5 years ago. Jimmy Butler.
I would.
I wouldn't.
Jalen Green is not all that. Not a very good defender. Doesn't shoot the ball that well.
Well, if you get
Doesn't
rid of
play make.
him, what do the Rockets have? Shengun. That's it.
Okay. Jabari Smith still there. Fred's still there. Jimmy, you have now.
Don't give me
Amen-
Fred in
Amen-
2024.
Amen off the bench. Cam Whitmore's off. You can give him.
They're
more
the
minutes.
Heat. They're too comparable to the Heat because you got your Bam in Shengun,
Not a,
and you have your
well, actually,
and you,
their defense has been good this year. I'm pretty sure.
and you have your hero in Fred, essentially. Right? So I wouldn't do it.
Okay, what about Dallas? I don't know what a trade offer would look like for them.
Would he work with Kyrie? Would he work with Doncic? He's got to be the alpha. He won't be the alpha.
They would find a way somehow.
Would he work with Dwight Powell?
I don't even know what does Clay have to go the other way in a trade?
Yeah, probably.
Or does it have to be like PJ Washington or
Maybe. I think Golden State's the most realistic.
I agree.
That's the only place where I could see him going where he doesn't have to be the alpha.
And he
'Cause
works.
If you don't
Oh, he
defer
could
to
be the
Steph-
alpha. That's the thing. Curry can play off ball.
Well, I mean alpha personality.
Okay.
He if you don't defer to Curry's leadership, you're a fucking idiot. Like if you can't if you think you're bigger than Curry in Golden State, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's like going to Cleveland, LeBron, and being like, "I'm Dwayne Wade. I'm now the king." Which would be kind of funny.
Oh, like Podziemski, maybe
Maybe
Moses
Draymond?
Moody, two firsts.
Kaminga?
I guess you need more salary than that though.
Kaminga, I think, would have to go the other way.
Maybe is he signed?
I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think who's got.
Draymond?
No, Draymond will not get traded. It's Curry and
Can't believe they
Dre.
kept him.
Curry and Dre until they retire.
Fucking Draymond. That's who you're hitching it to. Oh well.
I'm curious. I do think they should make a move though, but it's got to be the right move. Like KD, if he becomes available, I know they want him.
Who, the Warriors?
No, Rockets.
Okay.
They were trying to trade their picks. They were trying to trade for picks to get KD or something. I think they traded for the Suns picks. I think they traded the Nets picks back to. That's what it was in the offseason. I think they traded the Nets picks back to Brooklyn. In exchange, they gave them the Suns picks or one of their picks or something, being like, "Hey, we have your pick. Come back and get it, and we'll give us KD or some shit like that." I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I forget what was going on with that one. That was a weird one.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Atlanta. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Golden State.
Do you say Atlanta?
I meant Houston.
I was like, what? Where did Atlanta come from there, Joseph?
Yeah, I don't know. Losing it.
I'm trying to think. Is there any other spots?
The Toronto Raptors.
No.
Just kidding.
Do you see the LeBron report about how he might still find a way to get to Golden State or something? Did you see that one come out?
That's just LeBron
And then
planting stories.
also, if he were to get traded, Bronny's likely in the deal as well.
Bullshit. That is such bullshit. He's not even a G League caliber player. He's so bad. Did you see his most recent game in the NBA? It's a joke. He looked
Yeah,
like
block.
me.
Get a block.
That was the worst layup attempt I've seen in my life. I mean, good lord, he's so bad. But this is just LeBron because now he's had a couple crappy weeks. This is just him changing the narrative about himself because people are going, "Oh, he's washed. He's finally done." And then LeBron's like, "Uh-oh, I can't have this be my legacy in this season." So he's just planting this story like
Okay.
he always does. Like, remember, I might retire. Like, remember he got bounced in the playoffs. He's like, "Oh, this might be my last year." Ooh. Like, he always does this. This is how he rolls.
I would
God,
not be
I
surprised.
can't wait for Bronny to be playing in Spain.
I wouldn't be
So I don't
surprised
have
if
to care.
I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron retires at the end of this year. I think it's going to be next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's this year.
Does he want to play with Bryce?
I don't think he's got the gas in the tank left for it.
Well, can he accept a lesser role? Would he accept coming off the bench?
Hmm.
No.
So
That's
we'll
what
see.
he'd have to do.
Yeah.
And Bronny's so bad. Like, I feel bad for him because I don't think he's happy doing this. 'Cause, fuck, he's so bad. He's so bad.
Dude, he's living in the NBA. He's probably happy.
Well, he's not ready. He looks so bad.
Yeah.
He's so bad. He's objectively the worst player in the NBA.
What? I thought that was Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks is
Just
fucking
kidding.
amazing. Kill yourself, Nathan. Good
I'm
lord.
kidding. I knew you were going to get riled up.
Yeah.
I think that wraps
You know
up
who's
where-
worse? Wembanyama.
Okay. That's where we draw the line. That's where we end this podcast episode off because that does not stand. I will be editing that piece out. No, I will not.
Oh, what's the title? I know you're all hyper about that.
Oh, okay, I'll reveal it now. It's one and done,
I don't get it.
as in Juan Soto, like one and done.
Oh,
with
I
the
see.
Yankees.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know. I saw a tweet. It was like one and gone or something. I'm like, hey, one
Ah.
and done.
Yep. There you go.
That's the title.
Wanted,
else you want?
dead or alive.
Anything else you want to touch on? We want to touch on this week?
Wanted for treason. Wanted for abandonment.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. Yankees play. The Mets play in Yankee Stadium in May, so that's going to be
That's going to be
interesting.
rough.
Yeah,
They're going to be pretty hard on him.
I hope he hits a home
I would
run
be.
first at bat.
I would be, especially when he went into business mode the second the World Series was over.
Do you think?
So.
Do you think he gets plunked by anyone?
Maybe. But then Clay Holmes plunks somebody, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I think that wraps it up. If you got this far, appreciate you listening. We will catch you next week in the new episode. Peace out.
Farewell.